Welcome back to Managing Mona's Moolah, or welcome if you're new. This channel is all about bi-weekly paycheck budgeting, cash stuffing, my cash envelopes, my savings challenges, and my personal mission of paying off my mortgage. So I'm documenting my steps to being mortgage free. So if any of those topics interest you, I welcome you to my channel. I have a brand new paycheck to budget. I'm very excited. I'm going to open my bubbly. Grab your drink, grab your coffee or your tea or your water. I'm going to open this. Here is a cheers to you. All right. Yes, I'm very excited today. I have my final paycheck in September. This was a magic month for me. March 2023 and September 2023, I received 3 paychecks instead of 2. So I am going to document my pay for today. This is my happy planner. I will be using this through the end of the calendar year. And then starting in January, I'm going to be using my Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. So let's turn to September, rather October. Actually, the paycheck is September 29. So I don't have any bills for September 29 and September 30. So I have to plan ahead for the next 2 weeks in October until I get my first paycheck in October. So this third and final paycheck dated September 29 will pay the first 2 weeks of bills. It will be my mortgage payment, my electricity bill, my home natural gas bill, and my water bill. And those are the mandatory bills to budget for this time. And then my first paycheck in October will be October 13th, Friday the 13th, and we'll deal with that when we get there. So this is my monthly layout for October in my Happy Planner. I have really enjoyed using this Happy Planner. I like to decorate with stickers. I've had such a wonderful time decorating with my stickers. I'm going to turn it slightly and angle it a little tiny bit, and we will begin budgeting this paycheck. So one of the first things that I always do is bring forward my buffer that I was able to save for my last pay period. So I always have a carryover or a buffer, and it will get transferred into this pay period. So I always have to account for this dollar value that was left in my checking account for emergencies. So that buffer carryover is $80.12. All of the bills and expenses that I planned for cleared as planned. There was no deviation from my last budget, so this is the exact amount in my checking account before my paycheck was deposited. So here, let's add in my paycheck number 3 for September. This is the same amount every 2 weeks, $24.56.88. The paycheck date is 9/29/2023. This covers 9/29 through October 12th. So the first thing I need to account for is that mortgage payment that's going to get drafted on Monday, since October 1st falls on a Sunday. So I'm going to write down my mortgage. This is due technically on October 1st, and that is the same amount every time, $1785.49. All right, the next item again is my electricity. This electricity bill is due on October 3rd, $86.88. And then here's my home natural gas. This is due on October 3rd for $22.13. And then finally, I have my water, sewer, trash, recycling. I'm just going to put water, etc. Due October 7 for $89.03. So again, before you start budgeting a paycheck, it's really a good idea to go to that calendar and see what bills must be covered with that paycheck. So I always make it a habit to go to my calendar and write down all my bills, every utility, every outing that I might have to expend money, and write it down. Anything that affects my budget, I have to write it in my calendar so I can plan for it. And these are the only bills that I have this time around to be included in this pay period. So what I'm going to do is add these together. So I have, let's start, I forgot to add my income. So let me do that first. $80.12 plus $24.56.88. And that gives me an income total of $2,537. That rarely happens, right? Where you have 0 pennies. Well, that's unusual. So at least I have my income. I like bubbly. Okay, so I have my income total figured out. So I have all my bills, took a look at my calendar, and I'm projecting out into the next 2 weeks. So let's add my fixed expenses, or my bills. Let's add those together. $1785.49 plus $86.88 for my electricity, plus $22.13 for my natural gas, plus $89.03 for my water. That gives a bill total of $1,983.53. And if I subtract that from my income total, I have a remaining balance of $553.47, which then I carry down to my cash envelopes section. All right. So what we have to remember when we budget, at least from my perspective, is that everybody's budget is different. Okay, so this is my leftover. Now I can start planning for my cash envelopes. And first thing I always account for is my allowance. This is my personal spending. This is guilt-free money. I do not track it. I put it in my wallet, and if I want coffee or what have you, I will use that. So this is $125. Next is my groceries and my food. This is for fast food, for groceries. I'm going to budget $150. Next up is my fur kids. And I'm going to budget $40 for them. This is for cat supplies and food and treats and litter. Next up is my car juice. I am going to budget $20. And my giving, I'm going to budget $10. All right, let me add those together. So I have $125 for my allowance, $150 for groceries and food, $40 for my fur kids, $20 for car juice, and $10 for giving. So that's a cash envelope total of $345. So if I take $345 from my leftover up here of $553.47, the remainder is $208.47. Again, this section is going to be very different for everybody. We all have different priorities. A budget is very fluid and it changes. So we have to be somewhat flexible for unexpected items that might come up, but for the most part, I like to try to stick to my budget as best as I can. I'm going to use my cash instead of my credit card. That's why I make sure I put money in my wallet and my guilt-free spending. I work hard for my paychecks. I'm sure you do too. You know, you reward yourself with guilt-free spending, and it does something for you psychologically. You're happier. You feel like you could just get a cup of coffee and not worry about the budget, right? So I am going to bring the $208.47 to my sinking funds section. I don't have any this time around because my mortgage payment hits my budget pretty heavy. So instead I have some beautiful stickers here, autumn vibes, and my little acorn and leaves. And of course my coffee. I like my coffee. I like my coffee more than bubbly, but here's to you. So I don't have any sinking funds this time around, but I will next time. Every time that mortgage payment hits my paycheck, I have to be very careful. So $208.47 is brought to my extra debt section as well. So I'm very blessed in that I do not have any credit card debt, school loans, personal loans. The only debt that I have is my mortgage, which I am fiercely tackling at this time and paying it off as quickly as I can. So again, I'm not putting anything extra to my mortgage, which is my only debt. So I'm going to have $0 going to my extra debt. And I'm going to bring $208.47 to my favorite section. Yay! Get so excited when I get to save a little bit of money, right? Doesn't have to be a lot. So the first thing I'm going to plan for is my jar of hearts. savings challenge. This time I'm going to put $75. Next is my Let It Bloom savings challenge. And I'm going to put $25. And that is all that I'm going to be stuffing for my savings challenges, but I always leave a buffer in my checking account for unexpected things that pop up. What if I forgot something? So I'm going to have that buffer of 108.47. So that's going to sit in my checking account. It's peace of mind for me. I never draw my checking account down to zero. So it brings great comfort to know that if I need something unexpectedly that I did not plan for, that I have a little money in my checking account to absorb an emergency. So let me add these items together. 75 for Jar of Hearts, 25 for Let It Bloom Savings Challenge, and my checking account buffer of 108.47. So that leaves a savings total of 208.47. And if I take that from the leftover up here, that gives me a zero-based budget. Okay, so all of my money is planned for. Everything is accounted for. I'm comfortable with this. I'm taking care of my 4 walls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my math. That's what this little box down here is for, so I could check my math. So I have an income total of $25.37. I'm going to take away my mandatory bills, my fixed expenses of $19.83.53, which leaves $553.47. Subtract my cash envelopes, that leaves $208. Nothing for sinking funds, nothing to extra debt, but I do have some savings challenges and my checking account buffer, 208.47, and that does leave me with a zero-based budget. Yay! So very excited. It's a very simple kind of budget, not a lot happening. This is paycheck number 3. I did my savings with my last paycheck. So I'm very comfortable. This is going to have to last me until October 12, and I think it can. I really make an honest effort to stick to my budget. I'm comfortable with this. I can live with this. So thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the content. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves and be kind, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.